City Council member since January of 2009.
Thank you. Can everyone hear me? I'm a little tall for this microphone. Is that working? I thought you'd reached your max.
I heard.
Barev. I get in. My name is Andreas Borges, and I am a Fresno City Councilman representing the northwest area of Fresno. It is an honor for me to be here today, and I would like to thank the Armenian Studies Department and the Armenian Students Organization for allowing me to present here today, and thank you for the hard work it takes to put together this presentation. Many of us here have friends and relatives that were impacted by the tragedy that befell the Armenians 95 years ago. And I consider myself a friend of the Armenian people, and even though I am of Greek heritage, I consider myself a member of the extended Armenian family. And thank you. I've had the pleasure of traveling over to Armenia, traveled to Nagorno-Karabakh. I helped establish sister city relationship with Armenia, and I even married an Armenian. So my Armenian bona fides or credentials are not important today, however. I'm here to speak on one unique aspect of the Armenian genocide, and that is how our judicial system, our court system, has failed us. We all know that how our president and members of Congress, both past and present, have made campaign promises while they were candidates that we would recognize the genocide upon assuming office and the responsibilities of that office. And time again, that's not happened, and they've failed us. On top of that, you have the well-oiled and well-funded Turkish lobbying machine that has done an amazing job of derailing the efforts that we've been a part of for the past 95 years to deny that the genocide ever occurred. We're up against something very powerful, and it's proven itself to be resilient, however not as resilient as the Armenian people. It's been 95 years, and not a year has gone by that we have not attempted to bring recognition to what transpired between 1915 and 1923. The politicians have routinely stated that Turkey's geopolitical importance in world affairs, it would compromise this important relationship if we were to recognize the genocide. Now, I think we can all appreciate that the war on terror and the gravity of Turkey's economic importance, its regional influence as a bridge to the Muslim world, as a secular republic, is important. But ever since 1915, it's always been important. There's no reason to believe that in the future that relations will deteriorate in a way that we would then find it opportune to do something about this. So the arguments that people have said, especially those in Washington, have said it's not opportune, it's not the right time, or it's politically inconvenient. There will never be a right time. Turkey will always be important strategically as a member of NATO and for our relations in the Muslim world. So that argument fails in my opinion. I know in your opinion as well. But what's important to me, please excuse me as my contact is drying up and about to fall out. What's important to me today is there's been a grievous problem in our judicial system. We understand the politics because we've been a part of this movement for as long as we've been around, and we've had friends and family members that have told us stories. But as a professor of law at San Joaquin College of Law, there's one unique aspect that has come to my attention of late, and that was the insurance claim that was tried, the various insurance claim actions that were brought against various insurance companies and even against the state of Turkey, how that was denied. This is an unusual aspect of the genocide that I'd like to talk to you about, and one that I think we can remedy by demanding that President Obama and members of Congress take a step back. There was a case that was put forward in 2008. I'm going to refer to it as Mosesian. This case was against a German insurance company brought by an Armenian plaintiff who sought to collect on a life insurance policy issued to Armenian genocide victims. The question of this case was whether the Armenian Genocide Victims Law of California interfered with the national government's conduct of foreign relations. Now take a step back. In the year 2000, the California legislature passed a rule that allowed for these insurance claims to be processed. But last year, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in California ruled that because the president had urged members of Congress to oppose the Armenian Genocide Resolution, that, and I quote, California has defied the president's foreign policy preference. The president's foreign policy preference? Are we serious? We have efforts and bona fide contractual claims that are being derailed because of the president's national security preference? This is shameful, and I'm calling upon the president and the members of Congress that denying the truth that the genocide occurred is one aspect, but the other aspect here that we're especially concerned about is the fact that it's taking away our ability to seek redress in the courts of California and the courts of America. The fact that you would label it as a foreign policy preference by taking away contractual rights that we have is unconscionable in my opinion. Now, there are a number of concerns that we should have over this case that came out last year. Whether it be the undeniability of the written, the testimonial, and the evidentiary record that genocide exists and that occurred, or that California sovereignty is being put into question, or the fact that this is a federal infringement on our contractual rights. We must call upon the president to fulfill his campaign promise to break the pattern that was established long before him, whether it started with Reagan or Bush or Clinton or Bush Jr. Every single president has said in the campaign trail they will recognize it, and upon assuming office, they failed us. They have not fulfilled their promises. But this is one area where something can be done immediately. And I believe that the President of the United States should exempt this area of the law from the foreign policy discussions that he's trying to wage between Turkey and Armenia and the diaspora of which we are members, and allow these cases to move forward. I think it's important. It will send a strong symbolic message to the Armenians in America that courts are where we can seek justice, and justice will be given. I'm not under any illusion that Washington is going to change overnight, but our courts should be immune to that kind of political sensitivity. Genocide denial efforts, as we know, are wide and varied. And this case speaks to its new front within the judicial system. But we are here today to remember those that perished in the genocide, and we're here to memorialize what they went through and to educate our generation and subsequent generations about what has transpired and what genocide means to those that are the offspring of that experience. I would like to present a certificate to the Armenian Studies Department and the Armenian Students Organization at Fresno State. Marlo, if I could present this to you on behalf of the organizations that are part of this. Please, if you will. I'd like to present the City of Fresno Certificate of Commendation to the Armenian Studies Department, the Armenian Students Organization of California State University, Fresno. It is our great pleasure to join with the people of Fresno, the Armenian Studies Department, and the Armenian Students Organization in remembrance of the Armenian Genocide. Your efforts to educate and promote awareness of the culture and history of Armenia and the Armenian people reflect great credit upon you, the California State University of Fresno, and the City of Fresno. On behalf of the people of Fresno, we offer congratulations and wish you continued success with this